Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This store is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Get signed up for their email distribution list to find out when the store will be opening, what their hours will be, and most importantly, what they will have in inventory at abvbarrelshop.com. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebartogo.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we talk to Jennifer Cissell, VP of Operations and Administration for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey.
So, Jennifer, we finally get to have you on. I've been trying to get you to come on the show for 3 years at least, maybe 4. I don't know. It's been a while. I asked you when I was on a tour, and then I ran into you when Freddie Johnson went into the Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame, and I asked you there, and I might have asked you last year at the Bourbon Festival. So now you're here, though. How about that?
I am here. I am not that elusive. I'm a little shy. I usually got to have a few shots of bourbon in me before I start.
Well, yeah, usually we do the show, but it's a daytime recording, so we're not drinking. So, yeah, we're okay. We always like to start out by just saying, tell us a little bit about yourself, because it's good for our audience to get to know the individuals we're interviewing on a personal basis. So we'll talk all about the Bourbon Festival, what's going on, how they can get involved. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, it's all about you, though. Tell us about yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. And, as McNew said, I am currently the Vice President of Operations for the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, but I just started that job less than a year ago. So prior to that, I spent almost 10 years with the James B. Beam Distilling Company out in Claremont, Kentucky. Kind of jack of all trades, you wear whatever hat needs to be worn that day and do what needs to get done. But my primary focus there was hosting VIP guests and influencers. So that's the first time I met Steve out there on a tour of the distillery. They've, of course, since revamped. Their experience is now way, over the top, which is fantastic. But let's see, even before that, I grew up actually right outside of Loretto. So both of my parents worked for Maker's Mark, and I grew up basically at that distillery. They worked there my entire life. They retired now probably about 10 years ago. But when I was a kid, the smell of bourbon was home, right. Like that warehouse smell, the distillery smell. Even to this day, I get a whiff of that. And it's very comforting to me because that's how I grew up. Of course, being from such a small town, I did what most kids do, and that's ran as far away as I could. I didn't run too far at first. I went to Western Kentucky University.
Okay.
And spent 4 incredible years there. I actually worked, my major was broadcasting, and I worked for the Western Kentucky football team when they won the 2000 championship with Coach Jack Harbaugh. And of course, we know the Harbaughs now with their NFL, greats. So that was quite a learning experience. From there, I ran down to Nashville, took an unpaid internship with Titans Radio because I was going to conquer the world. Mm-hmm. And, after about a year of being very, very, very poor in Nashville, I found myself in Houston, Texas, and I spent about 8 years there. When I first got down to Houston, I worked a little bit for the Texans on game days, but the bulk of my time there, I actually worked for the Houston Rockets. So we've got the NBA playoffs going on right now. Unfortunately, my Rockets were nowhere to be found, but that was an incredible journey. And then boomerang back home and found myself at Beam. And then, like I said, just under a year ago, I landed with the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So my career has been sports and bourbon.
Sports and bourbon. That's not bad. Yeah. It's
rough life, right?
Right. What's your baseball team? This is important.
Oh, I'm not much on baseball.
Okay. But if I had to, and I know this is going to be controversial, but I'm going to say the Astros. The Astros. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's unfortunate, but we'll still keep you on.
I know.
I was expecting Cincinnati. A lot of Kentucky people are Cincinnati fans.
They are.
Cincinnati's a good one. Yeah, we get a lot of Braves fans too in this area. I think honestly, so I have a son who is now 12 years old, and he was born in Houston. And we go back every now and then to sporting events. So his love for the Astros has rubbed off on me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I can't. Baseball's the one that I never really, being from the Bluegrass State, we love our basketball. At some point, I got really, really into football, and baseball just never really took for me. But I will say, my son, I got to give him a lot of credit. I just thought it was hit the ball and run.
Right.
He has taught me a lot of the strategy behind it and some of the nuances in the rules that I was not aware of. So that has made me enjoy the sport more.
Excellent. McNew, what would you like to know?
So another very important question. What's your favorite bourbon cocktail?
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I thought you were going to ask favorite bourbon.
Right.
And
that puts you in a bad spot, right?
I won't do that to people. I'll throw the cocktail in there.
And, honestly, and, to answer the question you didn't ask, what I drink bourbon wise is really based on mood. Right. Am I celebrating? Was it a rough day? Do I want something full throttle, or am I just, casually sipping? Have I eaten? Is it 9 a.m. or 9 p.m.? So my favorite bourbon depends on mood, but nobody ever asked favorite cocktail. So I love that question. I mean, I'm bourbon forward. I go straight for an old fashioned, and I do have to be a little bit partial to my time at Beam. They made a black walnut old fashioned that with Knob Creek just was spot on for me. Not too sweet, very bourbon forward, very easy sipping. If I went something a little, fancier, I might do a sour, lemon basil sour or something like that. But that, I'm kind of one and done. I can't do the super sweet drinks.
Yeah, I get it. Well, Jennifer, nice to get to know you a little bit, again, on a personal basis. So what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival this year, what's going on, why we should be there. We'll learn all of that and more. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot in the greater St. Louis area. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only focuses on single barrels. We aren't open just yet, but our plan is to have the most diverse single barrel offerings from our many friends in the world of bourbon. By signing up for a weekly email, you will know our entire inventory we have on hand. In addition to single barrels, we'll have a tasting bar and a gift shop featuring logo merchandise for both the shop and the ABV network, as well as a full curriculum of bourbon education classes. Additionally, we'll use the gift shop to feature products from our partners in the world of bourbon, companies like Art Eatable Chocolates and Old Man Bay Signs. Head over to ABV Barrel Shop to sign up for our email and text distribution list so you can stay in the know. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent visits to Kentucky. Today, he's leading the way for young distillers making their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery combines family history, a look at what makes their products unique, and of course a tasting through their whiskeys, moonshines, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com and visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Bosnot and
Kip Bosnot.
And we are recording the Bourbon Daily.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we have Jennifer Cissell of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Yes, we are. So Jennifer, you come into this and you were asking a little bit about the audience to begin the show. And we have an audience that's really into bourbon. So I think they know about the Kentucky Bourbon Festival. And but what would be the draw this year? Why, if they're sitting at home like me in St. Louis, what would you say to someone that this is the year that you need to come to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival?
That was a really great question. So we have made some changes, and all for, growing and expanding this and making it a world-class festival. I believe it always has been, but just kind of taking it that extra step. This year, new for 2022, sampling on the lawn is included in the ticket price. So you buy 1 3-day pass, you can come and go in and out. We've got so many wonderful distilleries signed on who will be serving product samples, doing their specialty cocktails. Cocktailing is such a big part of the industry now. So really that, along with, we've got 20 unique single barrel bourbon expressions that customers can get kind of exclusive through us. I believe those are being sold at Justin's House of Bourbon that's in Louisville, Kentucky, and also Lexington, Kentucky. Marketplace vendors, entertainment, there's so many wonderful things to see. And, you get those big characters. We are really unique here in Bardstown, Kentucky. A lot of people know us as the bourbon capital of the world. And it's really interesting to be able to go to the grocery and run into, like a Bill Samuels, it's like, you're at the ballpark and there's Freddie No cheering on his daughter. It's very unique here. So we get a lot of those characters who come out, who are at the, festival, sharing their stories and their legacy and their brands with so many people. So it's really, it's just super impactful to be able to see those people close up. And as you guys know, they've got these big titles of master distillers, but ultimately they're bourbon lovers, just like you and I, just like the listeners, super passionate about promoting the state of Kentucky and the bourbon brands as a whole. One good story that I love that Fred used to share all the time. Well, and we'll use the Heaven Hill Fire as an example that happened here in Bardstown. Gosh, so many 20 some odd years ago now, probably.
Yeah.
96.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Pepsi and Coke were in the same town and Pepsi's plant caught on fire, Coke would take every chance to just say, well, there you go. You're now out of the game. But this industry really rallied around. And so that's what I think people are most surprised to see on the lawn is when they see those master distillers hugging and welcoming each other and really interacting together. They expect them to be this big competition, this divide. But in reality, we're a big bourbon family here in Bardstown.
Yeah. I was just talking to my buddy Royce Neely on the phone before we did this. And one of the things that he's excited about, and I assume that the audience is going to be excited about as well, is the opportunity to sell bottles. So a chance, if you're coming to the festival, you don't have to go around to all the distilleries to buy the bottles or hit all the liquor stores. They're actually going to be able to sell them on site based on a change in the laws in Kentucky, right?
I am so glad you said that, Steve. Yes, absolutely. So that is huge for this year. Being able, those distillers from their booths will be able to sell bottles. Because to your point, otherwise, they're here pretty locally, but by the time you get from one end of the county to the other, they're not that close to try to get all the favorite brands that you're looking for. So yes, bottle sales will be happening on the lawn this year as well, which is
it's a good idea.
Incredible.
We save all that gas money from going out, have to go to all these different places to get it now. So that's nice. So that's all in one place. So
that's right.
McNew, what do you want to know here?
Yeah, so we're exciting for tasting and bottles, of course. What other events are taking place?
We've got Bourbon in the Air will come back this year. Guests love that. It's kind of an evening event, a little bit more private, with some food appetizers. We do have some educational sessions in the works. I don't know that I can disclose exactly what those are just yet. And some mixology classes, culinary classes are also on the radar. The World Championship Bourbon Barrel Relay will be back. So if you guys have not seen that, now the Bourbon Barrel Relay is free and open to the public. It's being presented by Independent Stave Company this year. And it truly is something you will not see anywhere else in the world. These distillery workers come out and they are rolling 500-pound barrels, which... okay, that in and of itself sounds like a feat, but they're clopping the barrels, which I'm assuming we know what that means. They're getting that bung stored up. And so they get points deducted whether they are a little bit off. So they also have to get those barrels clocked with that bung straight up at 12 o'clock, which is so impressive to watch the speed and accuracy of these distilleries. So there's always something fun and unique going on for sure. And then this year, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say, just one last thing on that. I mean, it's literally like an Olympic event, and they take it that seriously too. That's what's so great about it. The distilleries are so into this, and they want their team to win. So that's what's so special about how serious they take it.
The probably maybe a little bit of an unknown secret is the teams will build a trial ramp on their property, and they practice for months and months prior to, and they don't, I mean, there's no prize money at the end. It's literally bragging rights. They put in all this time and effort strictly for those bragging rights, but that's important. It's really important.
Don't you feel like if there's a TV show producer that's listening to this, that's a TV show, is filming all the stuff behind the scenes leading up to it, and then the culmination is that you're at the Bourbon Festival, and then the competition, and to see how all these because it's great personalities, see how all of them ultimately end up doing. I think that's a heck of a TV show idea.
I mean, we watch people chop wood on ESPN. We should be watching barrel rolling on ESPN. We should. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Oh, you were going to say something else. I interrupted, so I'm sorry about that. What were you?
No, you're fine. I wanted to chime in because, thinking about all the different things that are new this year, we are also hosting next month, which we're right on the cusp of June, Friday, June 10th and Saturday, June 11th. We are hosting the Bourbon Capital Barbecue Challenge and Distillery Invitational. That's going to take place at the Legacy at Dant Crossing, which, you guys have now heard of Log Still, Monks Road. It's out on their campus, and it's going to be a great time with bourbon and barbecue. There are still tickets available. This event's unique so the Bourbon Festival that takes place in September is 21 plus. We are very, like I said, sampling's included. So we got to make sure that those folks are 21 plus. But this barbecue event down at the Legacy at Dant Crossing is family friendly. We've got bouncy houses. I have procured a dunk tank, which I am personally very excited about. So I'm hoping that people will maybe enjoy a few bourbon samples and then decide they need to cool off and go right into that dunk tank. So we've got 20 professional pitmasters from the Kansas City Barbecue Society coming in on Saturday.
Nice.
And what's going to be really awesome on Friday, it's our distillery teams are competing. So I believe we've got about 10 distillery cook teams. So again, it goes back to that friendly competition. You know, we're all rivals. We want to be the best as far as, you know, each distillery and their brand. But ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a lot of camaraderie amongst, you know, these distilleries. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. McNew, what else do you want to know about the Bourbon Festival or about Jennifer here?
Yeah, so I guess we can get it from your website, but let people know where we can get tickets and when they should buy them by, because I imagine you guys will sell out pretty quickly.
Thanks, McNew. I should have blurted that out from the get-go. Our website is www.kybourbonfestival.com.
Okay.
Once you get there, you will find the ticket page to purchase Kentucky Bourbon Festival tickets, as well as the Barbecue Challenge tickets. Bourbon Festival, our VIP packages have sold out. Those went very quick. But we do have some 3-day bourbon tasters left, as well as a Sunday sampler. So if you've got some day trippers who just want to come out for a day, passing through, that Sunday sampler is a great option. The barbecue event, like I said, that's coming up on us sooner than later. Those tickets are $10 for adults. So very accessible for anyone to come out and check out this new event venue and see what all we have planned.
Yeah. Are those still plenty of tickets left for the barbecue event at this point? Or?
We still have plenty right now.
Okay.
I'll be honest, we've sold a good chunk, and I think we were chatting about this Kentucky weather, and it's, you know, it's very temperamental. Wait 4 hours and it could be different. So I think once this stream of storms passes by, we're going to see a big uptick in those ticket sales.
Okay. And Jennifer, how does it work once you're there? If you want to get there and you want to sample the barbecue, does your ticket include some samples, or do you have to buy barbecue? How does that work if you're trying to enjoy
That's a great question. So the cook teams are very focused on the competition.
Right.
They are, you know, they take that very, very serious. So they are focused on the competition and won't actually be serving barbecue. But I've got some great barbecue food trucks that are going to be on site. Bourbon City Barbecue is one that is well known in this area. Very delicious food. Pig and Out's going to be there. Deuster's Ice Cream, Kona Ice for the kids. So we've got some food trucks on site for people to be able to sample. With the bourbon samples, we've got, we'll be selling wristbands for $25, and each of those $25 wristbands has 5 pull-off tabs. Folks can exchange for a product sample of their choice. So right now, we've got, of course, Log Still will be there serving some product, but the James B. Beam Distilling Company will be there. Luca Mariano, Peerless, Rabbit Hole, Bardstown Bourbon Company is going to be out there. Chicken Cock, Maker's Mark. Let's see. We got some really great, I know I'm forgetting somebody. I've got it. Bluegrass Distillers is the one that I missed. And Green River. And Green River.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds like you got a great lineup there too. So yeah, that's going to be a fun event for sure. And hopefully getting this bad weather out of the way, you'll be ready to go for that at that point. So yeah, we'll get past all this rain stuff. So that'll be cool. All right. As we wrap this one up, we always like to, follow the journey. And if there's anything else besides the Bourbon Festival website, social media, and you can also, if there's any personal you want to share, we're fine with any of that. So what would you like to talk about?
I love that. I'm like, oh, personal. We're getting real here. No, I don't think I have anything personal I need to share, but yeah, please do follow us on our social channels, Instagram, Facebook. Once you come to our website, there's an opportunity to subscribe, and honestly, that is the best way to stay in the know. We do a lot of exclusives, early access for tickets, things like that. So definitely take a moment, pop over there, see what we've got going on. There is something for everybody, what we're working on.
Sounds good. How about you, McNew? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. The important website, those abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, our events, so much more, abvnetwork.com. And of course, check us out on abvbarrelshop.com. We have the only single barrel shop in the world, should be opening July 9th. So check us out at abvbarrelshop.com. Sign up for our email and text list, and we'll let you know exactly what we've got in the store week to week. So sounds good. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Jennifer, hey, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you inviting me to come on, and let's do it again. It won't be 3 years from now.
Won't be 3 years next time. Okay, good. We'll get you back on soon. All right. Thanks a lot for our audience. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country, ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the Hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's upcoming Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.